Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the participants joining us from corners of the globe. This is Karthik, and it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming every one of you to the FIS InnovateIN48 Partner Edition for 2023, where we unleash the power of breakthrough ideas. Today, we have a start off a 2-day long agenda. The day one focusing on speakers and SMEs from industry experts of FIS, and the day two having panels with a global perspective with wide range of industry relevant ideas and topics that are trending as of today. Today, we start with the keynote session, followed by the introduction of the InnovateIN48 Partner Edition of this year. Let me first introduce Mr. Vikash Sharma, the country head of FIS India and Philippines, a seasoned professional with over 3 decades of IT experience, and his tenure marked by transformational leadership, particularly in the exponential growth of the FIS Bangalore Center, which he nurtured from a nascent stage to a robust establishment. With an extensive background in manufacturing and multitude of client engagements in IT operations, he is particularly proficient with the IT space and has excelled in cultivating large-scale, high-efficiency teams. His international experience, including over 7 years in the US, has further honed his expertise and a global approach to innovation and problem solving. Mr. Sharma's previous pivotal roles in IT companies like Transworld ICT and eFunds highlights his versatility across different IT environments, from internet banking to payments platform. Consistently forward-thinking, he has managed several strides in areas of IT strategy, global delivery, program management, and garners respect and recognition across the industry. Welcome, Vikash, today, and over to you for the keynote speech for the InnovateIN48 Partner Edition for 2023.
Very good afternoon, and thank you, Karthik, for the introduction. Very warm welcome to what I always call it, of course, partners, but then innovators of the word, the creators of the word, disruptors, call it what, right? All of you are in this space. My endeavor here to just briefly talk about FIS first, and followed by some questions, just to give in terms of what we are trying to achieve here and how all of you have a role and a play in our ecosystem. So let me try to first share the slides, and then we'll go from there. Karthik, I just need confirmation if you see it, and then we can go from there. Karthik or Pradesh, if anybody can tell me, you can.
We can. Vikash, please go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, FIS. I'm sure you would have done enough research coming into the sessions about FIS, but the FIS is a large fintech, probably largest fintechs over many years. And from the segment perspective, we have presence and dominant presence, if I would say, in the banking and payment side, capital market sides, and on the merchant side, right? But here, the key topic. So I think there are other sessions where we have covered more around FIS, but here the key topics is around innovations and what we are doing in this. So I will try to bring my focus around those aspects. Innovation is our second nature, I would say. It is something that culturally we promote internally big time, right? We innovate with internally, through our lines of products, as I said, products across all the market segments that I just spoke about. Then internal innovation drives and competitions, we innovate along with our clients. Then we also innovate with academias, and I'll speak briefly, touch base on that as well. And last but not the least, very relevant for our sessions today, is innovate, with partners, right? Collaborate, find synergies in the white space that we offer to our clients worldwide. There's a lot of space, and I think this sessions and few more sessions as we move along on this journey, you will be educated around those, right? So this is what I want to say. And then why fintechs is I guess a question is that financial technology, to our mind, is unlocking a stronger connection between the business and their customers, right? It's creating new revenue channels. Everybody is interested in that, right? Expanding business models, right? Building customer loyalties. And that's why fintech is important for us, right? We have guardrails on payments and all sides, right? So those guardrails, those solutions can be applicable in any industry that you see it on the screen, right? And fintech plays a big part in that. Yes, and you see, and financial technology. So financial technology is today providing, they can use our guardrails around payments or core bank platforms to provide, solutions across the industry, and that's of interest to us and hopefully to our partners as well. So why FIS, right? I just mentioned, in terms of revenue, over 14 billion. You look at presence globally, North America, Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, everywhere, right? Segment wise, again, banking, payment, capital markets, and then you talk about merchants and deep domain experiences, products which are heavily embedded in the market across all the regions. You look at, the economies, the number of transactions in terms of dollars that go through our rails, and, the number of businesses and financial institutions that we support, right? This would be interesting in my mind to all of you, is that, they always say that, hey, by the way, you are so big, FIS is so big, then what is the role? But role, I will also expand it as we move along with Q&A, and during my presentations. But why this is important, and you should be happy about this, is also about the culture, right? It's about how FIS has grown and how FIS got built over a number of years. The primary part, I'm not going to name all the companies, put it out there on the slide. The primary piece or the primary drive that I wanted to emphasize on is the culture of acquiring, right? We have grown not only through our own internal mechanisms, right, where we, organically we grow, but we have also grown whenever we have found, a good companies in the markets, a space that we would want to move into, right? We have acquired companies. It's a culture of FIS in that sense, right? And so that should be of interest to all of you, that, hey, by the way, how we have grown, right? And not only organic, but inorganic growth as well. Yeah, one of the largest fintech companies, as I said, we 70K colleagues. You imagine the amount of innovation that is driven through around our products in all those market segments, right? Huge. Organically, what today we all owe to all of these employees, right, who innovate through our product journeys, right? Innovation in terms of, how we present our products, how we improve and modernize our products. So this is, testimony to our internal colleagues. But then again, as I was saying, we have also grown through acquiring companies outside. But these are numbers. Hopefully it's interest to you, that at least gives you the size, in terms of what we are talking about. Right. The other aspect here is around financial innovation solutions, right? So you look at the space, right? Be it, if you talk about the banking space, right? So be it the deposits, be it the lending solutions, be it the customer side of it, the integration layers, right? The self-serving channels of your internet bank, mobile bank, the assisted channels, if you go into a bank, your teller applications and whatnot. And similarly, when you go on the payment side, be it the credits, the prepaids, the debits, the switching platforms, right? Customer loyalty programs, the depth and breadth around all these products is so huge. And that's why you see that we are one of the largest fintechs in the world. But as we go along, you will see there is also a space for our partners as well. And our endeavor in sessions today and going forward would be to uncover some of those for you. again, we talked about, and also the way these are architectural built, right? They are extensibles. We have, I was talking around, on our core platforms, on core banking, we have all these APIs that opens up our ecosystems to the outside world, not only to our clients, but people supporting the clients. And obviously there is a play for third-party providers as well. They have an access to, there is a gateway, Code Connect. Through Code Connect, we can connect to our ecosystem as well. Yeah, trusted innovators, and again, how our innovation levers, I think I kind of touched with it, right? Continue to new product developments. We invest heavily on our products. If you are tracking the markets, one of our, while multiple products, but one of the new product that we launched on the product and in the market, and 8 to 10 implementations are going around, is on the modern banking platform, right? So we continue to innovate around our products, not only just features, functions, but modernize them in terms of their architecture as well. And then launching new businesses with our impact and venture partners, startups, and future focused investments in growing disruptors. This is important. FIS people strategy. Earlier slides I talked about, 70,000 employees. You cannot. We have created a culture where they are collaborating across the teams, across the segments, to create an environment where we go out and win as one team, right? The other two items are there. They are part of our ethos. Lead with integrity, be the change. And FIS is one of the disruptors in the markets when we bring in our new products in the market on newer technologies, build ground ups. So those are some of the things that we bring to the markets, and here we are trying to see what are the opportunities from the collaboration perspective with our partners, or future partners, I should say. Yeah, interesting, right? When we say that, hey, by the way, how does the innovations happen in such large companies? I think some of these testimonies out there that you see proves the point that even a larger companies do innovate internally while they also seek things outside, right? But there's a lot of innovation. And again, as I was saying, that this is something that is very, very important. We promote culturally, and we look for those traits, inculcate those traits in our leadership programs, right? One of the things that's of dear to me is look at the best workplace for innovators in 2023. Right, look at the America's most innovative companies. Both we were there as our name was there in 2022 as well as in 2023. So some of these testimonials around innovations is something definitely our employees are proud of. Unleash the power of breakthrough ideas. What are we trying to say is, so what I'm saying is today is a time, right? A time for speed, a time for change, right? To succeed in today's market, we must keep innovating, right? And then innovate on top of innovate, right? Our platforms, right? Our guardrails gives a lot of solid foundations for startups, right? To build on those, right? Because at the base of it, we have taken care a lot of infrastructure related things, lot of key items that you build on top of it. It is very difficult for in this eco space for somebody to build a core bank platform, right? That is what FIS is already built, but then there are solutions on that, or there are extensions that can be built upon, right? So that is what I'm trying to say here, right? Last year, we took, I would say, a baby step in this direction, that we did this partner edition. That's what we launched last year. And it was, while it was a baby step for us in this geography of India and Asia Pacific, but it was very successful. And this time, it is even bigger. And hopefully you will experience that when you go through all the launch programs, all the sessions that will be conducted over a number of days, the hand-holding aspects from our top leaders who have committed the time when they will be speaking to you during this InnovateIN48 Partner Editions, the time scale, right? So you will see those coming through, and believe me in this, we are committed to handhold you through this program, right? With this, I would like to hand over back to the moderator and see what are the next sessions in this at this time.
Thank you, Vikash. You can hear me, right?
I can have I are you still seeing my presentation, or is it
no, I'm not seeing the presentation. So
okay, thank you. No, I just wanted to ensure that we're okay.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Vikash. So I'm sure this presentation has given a good overview of who FIS is, what is it that we do, the journey FIS has taken, the innovative solutions that FIS provides to our clients, our innovation culture, and a brief intro to the InnovateIN48 Partner Edition that we're doing for India and Asia Pacific startups, right? So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone who's tuned in. So now let's have a conversation with Vikash about how FIS is supporting the innovation ecosystem in India, Asia Pacific, and beyond. So Vikash, maybe you can talk about the FIS commitment to fostering innovation in India and Asia Pacific startup ecosystem, and what specific initiatives or strategies are in place to support this commitment.
Sure, Pradeep. So I'll briefly try to answer that question. See, you look at it this way, FIS is a global leader in financial services, right? And we have a strong presence, not only just from the manpower perspective in India and Asia Pacific, but this region is also very important as we drive a lot of revenue from the system, from this region, I should say, in all the segments, banking, payments, merchants, and capital market, right? And we have the greatest set of assets across the industry, right? Assets that transform investing, create anytime, anywhere banking, offers frictionless purchasing, right? So those are the things that startup should be looking for. Again, the word I would again want to use is the guardrails, right? It is our gateway, and then again, InnovateIN48 Partner Edition is our gateway program where promising fintech startups can get an opportunity to what? To connect with those ecosystem that I was saying, right? Yeah, and what are those? It is our connect internally with our lines of businesses, with our accelerator programs, with our venture programs, and alliance and partner programs, right? The other aspect, just to give a little bit more flavor in terms of our commitment to the region, is that very recently we have signed a memorandum of understanding with Manipal University, where we are collaborating with them, right, in creating an undergraduate program for fintech. We are committed through this memorandum of understanding. Our senior leaders are investing a lot of time. Company is putting in a lot of time, and we will not only curate the core structure, but we will also help with mentoring aspects, with the projects, future projects, so to say, right? So those are our commitments, I would say, Pradesh. Hopefully that gives you a flavor in terms of commitments to this market or to this region.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, Vikash. So we heard that the different ways that FI is supporting the startup ecosystem in India and Asia Pacific, whether it's through the InnovateIN48 brand, under which various programs are run, the academia collaboration program that Vikash talked about, some of the programs that support startups directly in the form of accelerator, impact ventures, and partner program. So now let's talk about the different challenges startups face when working with large enterprises. So Vikash, what do you see as the current challenges that startups face when working with large enterprises, and how FIS is addressing or leveraging these factors to support these startups and innovation?
Right. So when I was talking about the depth and breadth of FIS, right? The regions that we support, right? The segments that we support, right? that's a beast in itself, right? The size of the company itself sometimes, or in many a times, is the biggest challenge for startups to come and interact with such large companies, right? They are not able to navigate the journeys, right? With these large organizations and the layers in organizations, right? So this program of InnovateIN48 is primarily to address that. The other when we put together this InnovateIN48 Partners Edition programs, we also looked around, hey, by the way, in some other ways or industries ways in which how these startups showcase things is around hackathons. That requires a lot of commitments on part of the startups, over a period of time, with the very specific, sometimes quite demanding deliverables. So when we were putting this InnovateIN48 programs, our idea was to help, and create it in such a way that it does not become so daunting, right? So our program here, Pradesh, is designed to address some of these challenges that I spoke about, right? And this is then in that case become a single point or a single window or a single channel, whatever you want to call it, right? To our ecosystem, right? In a small period of time, what you come up with is a proposition, right? A win-win, a win-win proposition in that sense. Through this whole programs, there will be, as I said, curated sessions around giving more inputs about what FIS is. We are going to handhold these startups from the perspective of what they want to propose, what will be their pitch, how that can fit into the ecosystem. So a lot of those aspects, right, has been thought through, so that it just helps in the process. Even the judging metrics, right? When we talk about in this program, it will be based on synergies that exist between the startup and FIs, right? For example, what could be their complementary offering, right? That startups can offer that can align with existing FIs products, right? And so the whole process is designed where, from our perspective, from FI's perspective, we are sharing a lot of information with these startups to give them a view about what FIS is that will help them, first, A, sense the opportunity, B, position their products or solutions, right? And the process itself is where there is a lot of hand-holding. So hopefully they would find this program less taxing. And again, the key part is it's a single program through which you can access the large ecosystem of FIS, our ventures, our accelerator programs, and whatnot.
Yeah, thanks, Vikash. So one of the big challenges that you talked about when they work with large enterprises is probably the bureaucracy and the layers of organization, that they have to navigate to reach the correct contact point. We heard from Vikash how FIS has designed the InnovateIN48 Partner Edition that kind of cuts through some of these red tapes, right? So now let's talk about the FIS future vision and some of the exciting upcoming areas of collaboration. So Vikash, what is FIS future vision for its collaboration with the Asia and with the India and Asia Pacific startups ecosystem? And are there any upcoming areas of collaborations that you can share?
Yeah, again, I think a part of it would be something that I've been, I touched base earlier, right? A modernization effort, as I was telling you, as part of our modernization effort, we augment our offerings, right, with value adding partners proposition, right? So that's definitely a space, right? When it comes to collaborating with the startups, what is key is the breadth of the applicability of partners innovation, right? Market potential for the combined FIS partners, FIS and the partners, right? So what startup should look for is the strategic partner, right? I mean, you look at it, right? In the market, we are not the transactional partner, right? We want to be the strategic partner, right? And from that perspective, that is the whole reason we are sharing a lot of information so that startups gain knowledge of FIS, right? and pitch in, bring in their products or innovation solutions, right? So that it is complementary to our offerings, right? Or something that we don't even offer today, right? Those are things then it becomes very interesting for us, right? And that's where I will go. Now, specific to your second part of the question, you were talking about, hey, by the way, what could be the specific, right? I mean, payment modernization and industry-focused payment enablers is a space where a lot of innovation going in. Obviously, we are also very interested, right? Value-added issuing propositions is something that both on the credit and prepaid side we are looking for. Fraud and risk detection aspect around there. And then back again to product enrichment. Why I call product enrichments, we have a lot of our own products, but then if you build solutions around those, it also enriches our own offerings in the market. So those would obviously be an interest to us. Embedded finance, Pradesh, is looking a very good space for us to be in. So hopefully that gives some flavor what we're looking for.
Yeah, sure it does. So as we can see, like FIS operates in a very broad spectrum, and there are products in all areas of banking and payments, capital markets, merchants, and so there are so many areas of collaboration opportunities that Vikash just touched upon. So let's now just talk about some of the aspects of potential collaboration with a large enterprise like FIS for startups. So Vikash, what advice would you give to aspiring fintech entrepreneurs and the broader Indian and APAC startup community in light of the promising future of fintech, especially regarding the potential collaboration with FIS and similar organizations?
Yeah, see, if you look at it, companies like FIS, right? For us, we are always looking. One of the trade-off we are always looking for is build versus buy, right? There were some questions earlier with me where they say, hey, by the way, how do you decide that? Obviously, we have our mechanisms, and the core part, obviously, our preferences are always to do the build, that is internal build. That's why we have a large innovative workforce internally, right? Here we are looking for win-win proposition, right? That makes sense for well-established technology providers like us, right, to collaborate, right? So we are just adding in that sense an element, not only build and buy, but hey, by the way, is there a space for collaboration, right? Where partners pitch it? Absolutely, there is a space, right? Then I would say the other thing that the startup should look for is, while there are many and with a lot of strength financial investors in the market, my suggestion would be to also look for strategic partners and investors, not only financial investors. Why? Because the strategic partners will greatly improve the probability of your success, right? When you collaborate with us, right, we become strategic partners in that sense. And look at the ecosystem, the reach that we have from the region perspective, from the segment perspective, from the client's perspective, right? So that's our pitch in that sense, right? The other aspect is you have to also look at it for, we are, in a space of enterprise B2B software, so to say, right? Fintech, financial institutions, and the infra providers, the guardrail providers on banking payment sides and in other segments that I speak is our core area. So please look for in that sense. So risk related products, security aspects, compliance aspects, right? One of the things we look at it, how is robustness and extensibilities. All those things should be factoring in your mind, right? As we are largely a B2B company, and many of these focus areas for enterprises, and many of these are also the focus for the enterprise that we work with, right? These are just the some suggestions out there, and and the other thing is should not sound as a cliche, but make your initial collaboration as a success, because as they say, nothing succeeds like a success, right? I would really encourage all people who are participating in this program, first to learn more about FIS, and we are going all out all out in terms of putting those sessions, curated sessions, access to our senior executives, who runs large P&Ls, from the perspective of giving insight of FIS. Understand that, ask questions in those sessions, and see where you can then propose a win-win solution, product, or whatever that you can offer, right? And in this whole process, in your journey of InnovateIN48 Partner Edition journey is what I call it, right? In this period, we will handhold you for sure, right? Before you come up with your final pitch. Best of luck is what I would say. We are so excited to launch this. And as I said, despite our size, our reach, there is definitely a big play of partners in this, and so understand that space, and please go all out. Best of luck to all of you.
Thanks a lot, Vikash, for all your insights. Really appreciate you taking the time to do the keynote session and providing insights to how fintechs can collaborate with large enterprise like FIS and find areas that there are potential collaboration opportunities, right? So thanks again, and we'll conclude the session. Up next is our introduction to Innovate in 48 Partner Edition session. Please join that session. We should be starting shortly. And thanks everyone. Hope you have a great time today with various sessions lined up. Thanks, thank you. Thanks, Vikash.
Once again, thank you everyone, and best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.